Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Head, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion. Your host, and we're back here at the Baseball Head 2, off camera, and I'll like doing on camera. But anyway, the Angels have a problem. One of their best players is going to be out at least a month, maybe 2 months, with a very bad hand injury. That's Mike Trout. But before we get into that, you need to subscribe and like this video. This is from MLB TradeRumors.com. Headline: Could Angels' tough week impact deadline approach? Last Thursday was little doubt and little question about the Angels' deadline trajectory. Los Angeles had already acquired Eduardo Escobar and Mike Moustakas to help around the infield after injuries to Gio Urshela and Zach Neto. They were firmly in the American League wildcard hunt and within shouting distance of the Texas Rangers in the AL West. It had been hard to draw up a worse week than the one that followed. Well, that's life. That's Walgreens. First, the Halos lost Brandon Drury to the injured list. Further than in the infield, a much bigger blow came on Monday when Mike Trout left the game with a hand injury sustained on a swing. Subsequent imaging revealed he fractured the hamate in his left wrist, requiring surgery, and will miss 4 to 8 weeks. I know there have been players that have had this injury. They could be out a long time. If Trout's injury weren't bad enough, Shohei Ohtani and Anthony Rendon were both banged up on Tuesday. Ohtani left the start with a blister on his pitching hand, one outing after a cracked fingernail affected him during his previous pitching appearance. Rendon, just back from the IL stint, found a ball off his shin and should know by tomorrow whether he'll go back on the shelf. Well, Anthony Rendon has stolen the Angels' money. He has done nothing since he joined the Angels. Nothing. And just look up the numbers. As the injuries have mounted, the team's performance has cratered. The Halos were swept by the Padres this week and have dropped 7 of the last 10. They're just above 500 at 45 and 44, the printing of this article, going into a 2-game set against the Dodgers to close out the first half. The team has gone from a clear deadline buyer to a potential fringe contender in a matter of days. John Heyman of the New York Post reports the Angels are informing rival teams they'll take the next few weeks to gauge their deadline plans. I wouldn't be surprised if they flipped Escobar, or flipped Moustakas. Most notably, Heyman writes that Halo officials seem to be leaving open the slight possibility of making Shohei Ohtani available. That's not to say an Ohtani deal is likely, of course. Heyman suggests there remains a fair bit of skepticism around the league that owner Artie Moreno would sign off on that kind of move. Moreno reportedly pulled Ohtani from the trade market last summer, and Angels officials have publicly shot down the notion of moving him in the months since then. Just 2 weeks back, GM Perry Minasian called it self-explanatory that Ohtani would not be on the trade market. The baseball operations leader certainly wouldn't have foreseen things going downhill as quickly as they have since that point, however. Bad as things have gone lately, the Angels are by no means buried. Oh, they're pretty close to they're in trouble. The Astros are playing well. Well, actually, I've seen the numbers. The division has not been doing great, but they have not had a lot of luck. I mean, the Angels for a long time have always been sort of, they've had to deal with, they're so snake-bitten with injuries. Mike Trout's always injured. I mean, that's the best way to describe them, a snake-bit. It's going to be tough. I mean, they're going to have a tough month to figure out what to do. And I personally don't think that they're going to trade Ohtani. Okay, he's still an attraction at the gate. And even if he's not pitching as much as they want him to pitch, he's still going to play every day. He's still going to DH. Mike, like I said, Mike, when you tie yourself to one player and so much money for a long-term deal like he has, when that player gets hurt, you are in big trouble. And to be honest with you, the farm system of the Angels is not great. Their foundation for their team is not great. The fact that they had to call up Zach Neto this year when they drafted him last year tells you how barren the Angels farm system is. This kid should have been allowed to develop in the minor leagues. They shouldn't have rushed him up so quickly. But that is the situation there in Anaheim. They have no farm system. And it doesn't seem like it's getting any better. Well, let me know what you think about this video. Please subscribe to the Baseball Hut. Let me know what you think about what's going to happen with Ohtani and the Angels, and I'll see you later.